did it all start? I remember many, many, many years ago, and I was really young. And back in the day, we didn't have digital cameras like we have today, and these action cameras and so forth. So I had this like VHS camera recorder. Was my first actual video camera, and it was a huge thing. And I used to put a cassette inside, and then start recording, and then show off the things I learned, and then put on TV so we can watch it. And then it started to evolve, and then it became like into a Betamax version, and then it became digital, where you can record on an SD and then transfer it over, and a little mini flip screen, and the device is from this big. Sorry, this big. It starts to shrink down, and I remember having one that used to have like a strap on your hand, and you can put it in a little camcorder. That was the days. Those were the days. I mean, sorry, and that's what I mean. It's just evolved to what I remember recording content was like back in the day. But you see, it was all about sharing the moments with the family, sitting there watching things that we recorded during the day and so forth. And that's where I remember looking back and thinking, where has all this footage gone? I remember having piles and piles of VHSs or little mini CDs that we used to convert into digital so we can watch it on DVD players or CD players back in the day. And it's just different times, and I remember when smartphones, or mobile phones before they become smartphones, it was a different era too. We used to have the first 1 megapixel camera, and we thought, wow, we used to receive these images through multimedia messages, and it was just a game changer back in the day. It just felt like, wow, what is this? This is like amazing. And then, back in the 90s, we started to get into the World Wide Web, the internet, dial up and so forth, and it just evolved from there. And I remember webcams back in the day, oh my God. It was so simple, VGA, and just so simple technology that made it work. But if you looked back today and you start opening these old devices, thinking, how could you record on such low quality resolution and so forth? And that's what I mean. Time has changed, and same with videos. I mean, the old classic get some lines in the video footage, and that was nostalgia. That was vintage. That was the way it was back in the day. And today, that's what we're doing with our content. We're starting to put these filters on to make it feel like the old days, nostalgic, and people looking for cinematic look and so forth. And that's what it's all about. And it's about sharing that memory. When you hit the record button on your camera, what's the message you're relaying? What are you sharing with people out there? And you see, everyone has different reasons why they're doing it. For me, I honestly am doing it for me, for my personal growth, my own personal development. I want my kids to look back, and my generation of kids to look back and find footage of me, be it on YouTube or whatever platform I'm going to be on for the next, I don't know how long I live in life. And at least they have something to look back and just watch me yap on, maybe about nothing or maybe about something. But see, that's something I miss. I don't have content of a lot of my family members that I wish I could just, get a glimpse of 2 minute video of them, and I don't. Some photos have disappeared, and when you find these photos, it makes you realize that, we didn't understand what it was like to truly appreciate each moment. And that's a thing I want to tell you in life. You got to appreciate every moment, stop focusing on, things that add no value in life. And yet, when you lose these things, you realize that had I spent a bit more time, had I done this differently, don't live in that type of mindset. Anyway, so the cameras that has evolved is just a game changer for me. Coming through that type of evolution of change, it's just amazing, truly amazing. So now I've been with action cameras for a very long time, and in the last 2 years I've been really heavy into investing in action cameras. I love a lot of these action cameras, all the brands I love. I used to be a big GoPro fan, and then I stopped with GoPro because I had a lot of issues with GoPro back then. But again, it's not here. I'm not here to talk about the negatives. I'm here to tell you that how I transitioned. So when I left GoPro, looking for something new, fresh, and what was out in the market, nothing was really there. And then Insta360, I got influenced into by an ad. I was watching something, and I liked the way it was modular and the way you can put them together. And these are the cameras I still have till today, by the way, the RS, RS1, and so forth. I did a video on my channel, you can watch it. And from there, it opened up so much more with the 360 and how you can do 360 and so forth. And then I was introduced to DJI. Again, the same thing. I was, looking at with the latest specs and so forth. Like you do when you go searching for action camera stuff or accessories, ads get pushed into your feed through any platform that you're using, and it opens up another door for you to check, okay, what's this brand? And DJI, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, okay. And then the Action 4, and I was like, let me try this. And so I tried it, and I can see a lot of potential in it, that it's resonating with me as a product, like Insta360 does. And now the GoPro, because I'm back in GoPro, by the way. And one of my favorite GoPro cameras back in the day for 360 was the GoPro Max. That was hands down my favorite camera when it came to 360. And then when I got introduced into Insta360, 360 cameras, and I was like, wow, game changer. Because GoPro didn't release the Max 2 version, which we have today. So fast forward, and today I'm back now on the GoPro ecosystem. So I've picked up Hero 13 GoPro and the Max 2. So I'm loving the Hero 13 so far. I have no issues with it, despite whatever things we hear or see about it. Listen, I believe in second chances. There's something that needs to keep, evolving and upgrading, and GoPro is going to get there one day, hopefully, because they were the ones who created action cameras back in the day. Anyway, so Insta360 is a passionate brand, that as a brand I'm passionate about too, because I love their products. Again, I'm not paid by them. I don't. Everything you see on my channel, I buy my own money. Trust me. I'm not affiliated with anybody. I'm not collaborating with anybody when it comes to product review. I don't do product reviews. I'm a tech user, not a tech reviewer. That's who I am as a person. I'm just a tech junkie who just love tech. All my life, I love tech. I'm a mobile phone, smartphone fanatic, crazy about devices. So I've always upgraded the latest. I've always liked testing new ones. And there's a story, if I tell you, would you believe it or not? I used to be a R&D product tester for a brand, for a mobile device, before they launched it into market, and I was so happy doing it, because it gets me to get these devices way before they're released in the market and give my feedback what I think has changed, or maybe it's related to software or firmware I couldn't change. Sorry, the hardware I couldn't change because it's already in the final production. I could maybe give some feedback. They may or may not do these changes, but when it came to firmware and software, yeah, that's where they listened, and they truly, allowed me to share the feedback, and they made some changes, and I love that brand so much. And yeah, that's a brand that's gone now. Anyway, so what's it all about? So now I have started to shift from action cameras into traditional normal cameras, and again, getting introduced to this Leica. This is the Leica Lux Grip, and it gives you the feeling of what Leica cameras are when you attach it to your smartphone. And then you start using the Leica Lux app, and that's where it just changed. You see, I've always loved Leica as a product, and there's me using now the pre-filters that comes with the application, and gives you a feel what it's like. It's like wow. But again, I said I'm not one brand loyal. I love to try different brands. So the camera I just picked up was through an amazing content creator that I follow, who recommended it to me. And if you recommend something to me when I'm already in the fence, I want to buy it, I'll buy it. Trust me. So I jumped on the bandwagon and got it. It's completely new. It's like I'm reinventing the whole wheel again with me when it comes to using a camera. And I'm telling you, it's completely brand new. So I got the device. I can't share what it is yet, because again, I need to know what it is first before I start showing you what I bought. And I'll leave that for a video to come up very shortly soon, which explain that more, and then I'll link it to this video. Hopefully, I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Anyway, so yeah, I got the camera, and now you're gonna buy different lenses and so forth. And I do have a plan to buy Leica camera, maybe one or two of them, I don't know, but because I've seen some Leica cameras, I really like what I see it produces and what it gives out. And I was like, wow. But again, they're expensive, they're not cheap. So you got to remember, this is a deep pocket journey. And I haven't got deep pockets to do that. So yeah. What else? Yeah, so video cameras, the way I've seen it evolve in my eyes when back in my day in the early 90s, 80s and 90s, it was just different. The whole video game taking video recording was just different to today. And it's just, I'm telling you, I've had some devices like this I'm carrying on my shoulder. It's heavy, it's heavy. And I thought, what are you doing? I remember having that, like a eye mount, whatever it's called, I don't know, we don't care. So you put it there and you're watching through your video camera recording and you just feel like you're a superstar, like a filmmaker and a director of a movie, and you felt so important. That's what it felt like back in the day. Yeah, and then as we evolved and changed and technology changed, and funniest thing is I remember when selfie sticks were first introduced, we used to think, what is that person doing? Like same with Bluetooth, we used to think people are mad, and now it's all normal. So when I hear people, saying it, they got this fear of vlogging in public, let me tell you something. If you go back in time, we used to think all these people are crazy walking out there with a stick and walking around. Look at me, or what are they doing? You're thinking, I wouldn't do that. And then fast forward today, you're doing it. So it's normal. So just let it go and just enjoy creating content. Remember, this journey is a beautiful journey. And remember, I'm doing my journey for me, so my kids can look back and watch me. At least when I'm not there with them, they can watch a video about me talking. At least they can feel that I'm still there with them. Because it's sad. I mean, I don't have any content like that with my family members where I can watch, and I've lost two or three that I can't find anymore, and it's sad because sometimes I just want to relive that moment I had with my family member. So yeah. Anyway, let's leave this for another topic another day. Just wanted to wish you a beautiful day. And if you're not part of my journey, I would love to have you in my journey by just hitting the subscribe button below. A like will go a long way, they say, and these are things that I'm learning. Well, I've learned for the last 2 years creating content. But I think from time to time I need to say it because I guess the algorithm wants you to do these things. These are actionable things that you need to do in your videos to get people engaged and audience engaged and so forth. That's what they say anyway. Again, there's no right and wrong with me. I follow my own path. I don't follow the mass. I follow my own journey, my own direction. Yeah. So I wish you a beautiful day, a beautiful evening, wherever you are in the world. And remember, YouTube's going to recommend you to watch something far better than my channel or something from my channel I don't know. By the way, check out my playlist. If you want to know the kind of device I use, I've got it all in the description, all the devices I have. And what I've done, everything I recorded, I put into that playlist. So if it's DJI, it's going to be the DJI playlist recorded instead of the 60 and so forth. And that's how I'm going to keep going moving forward. And again, I have multiple things on my channel. I don't just talk about life, for example. I don't talk about memory lane. I don't talk about vlogs only. I do tech stuff. I'm not a tech reviewer. I'm a tech user. So I share with you my tech using experience, and maybe it's something you're looking for. And if I find a solution that helped me, I share it with you. And that's what I do. I look for problems in my life and I find a solution to them and I share them with you, if that makes sense. I just tap into that tripod. Anyway, I'm out. I'll see you in the next one, or maybe after this one. You just never know.